Well, originally we thought that we were going to go down there and do like a tour down the West Coast. We were going to like cypher in San Francisco and cypher in Fresno, cypher in, so-and-so, LA, San Diego, all that stuff, right? And then once we started to like reach out to different people and stuff, we realized that I don't think people are too responsive to like an Instagram DM or like an email, even like a formally written email with like a proper like pitch deck and everything. Like people are still just like, who are these guys from Canada reaching out? Like, I don't know. They just don't take it seriously for one reason or another. But like, it seemed like as time went on and we got closer to the date when we were planning on leaving, it was just a better idea to kind of like line up as many interviews as we possibly could and treat it more like a podcast tour. So that wasn't really intentional at the beginning, and it ended up being like extremely fruitful for us in the sense that we met so many cool people and made a lot of connections and heard a lot of fantastic stories and learned a lot of history and
chilled with them too. Like we didn't only just like dap them up and show face. Like we really sat down, talked with them, and that's the thing with the podcast is like it forces you to get to know each other on a personal level, right? Which is dope. It's dope because I don't want to say those conversations wouldn't have happened if there wasn't cameras there, but still, like, it adds a level of personal interaction, right?
For sure. And you're like thinking the whole time, like you're driving to this place to go interview whichever artist is next, and you're like, okay, what do I want to ask them? And it just kind of forces you to like run through your head and think of what you would possibly want to like, and it's kind of a unique experience because there isn't really a lot of like contexts where that kind of stuff is like appropriate, because you're kind of like interrogating somebody almost about their career and their life and their feelings and shit, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's nice for that to be like an actually like in this situation it's cool to just like, hey, so how do you feel about you know what I mean? Like you can really dig into somebody's personality and pull it apart. But pretty fucking wild trip down there. We saw a whole bunch of different cities, that's for sure. We left in like at like 7 p.m. on a Thursday. This guy got off work. I picked him up from his house at like 7 p.m. and we got across the border, drove all night, went through Seattle, saw a shitload of graffiti, and then showed up to Portland. We decided to take a look at Burnside Skate Park because we're kind of Leaside Skate Park kind of birthed icon hip hop, so the DIY skate park thing is in our blood. So naturally, anywhere that we are, there's
respects.
Pay respects to the DIY legends out there, and Burnside is definitely one of the dopest DIY parks on the planet Earth.
Yeah, it's fucking huge, and it looks professionally built. Like ours is under a little overpass type thing, and it's mixed concrete on site, which all of them are, but like there's something about Burnside that just looks really professional with the professional coping, like solid pool tiles is like coping, and the flow of the park too is like really thought out. Whereas the Leaside, I think, was a more like build as you go situation where they kind of just build one thing, build another, but something about that one just looked really planned out and thought out properly. So
yeah, I'm not actually sure what the history there is, but it seems to me, if I had to guess, it seems like Burnside might have been kind of planned out entirely beforehand, and like the entire thing was drawn and engineered completely, like you say. Yeah, it wasn't like bit by bit built on like Leaside.
Yeah, which there's two sides to it, right? Like
for sure,
it adds to like the skating part where you go to Burnside and you can hit these like dope lines, whereas Leaside you gotta pick and choose what you want to hit, which then kind of advances you a bit more as a skater. So
for sure,
it's beautiful no matter what. And then after Burnside, we stopped a quick little pit stop at Denny's, which was like right in the hood. Kind of felt weary about parking the car outside, but we got a good spot in a booth where we could visualize the vehicle the whole time we were eating our shit food. And
dude, Denny's took a turn, man.
Yeah, there's a fucking, what is it, gambling spot in the back. You can go and gamble
well, we walked in there and the first thing the lady is like, she's like, is y'all here for lotto? I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about?
It's like lotto. Is it a person?
Yeah.
Like, we're here for the fucking Grand Slam
tonight's
breakfast.
special is lotto, and like you like spin the wheel, and they bring you a special cheeseburger or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. But to me, Denny's has always been greasy breakfast at 2 a.m., and that's been the plan forever. Yeah. That's always been what it is. That's their business model. But I guess that's not doing great in Portland, so they opened it up to being like a bit of a gambling den. So it's like very much after hours, illegal after hours, cocaine vibes in there. And like every single person that we saw in there that wasn't us was like...
Yeah, tweaking out.
Like they were all. I'm pretty sure the fucking guy that runs that place was selling dope or something.
Oh,
there's a bunch of people showed up that looked like they were there to pick up fucking, you know what I mean? Something.
Play lotto.
And just like go see that guy in the back room for like 2 seconds and then fucking leave, shake his hand. Oh, bye. Yeah, like, okay.
Yeah.
Denny's is hard times out there for Denny's, man.
Fuck.
You don't want to be in the Grand Slam game right now, 2024, Portland, Oregon. That's not the move.
Yeah, my stomach hurt after that one.
I felt like shit after that.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
I feel like they source... I mean, they probably get it from the same places we get our Denny's shit from, but just like... I don't know, man. Just
dude, the cook had like one eye. The cook looked like the guy who picked up Harold and Kumar in the truck.
Yeah, literally.
You know what I mean? But with like one eye. And he just like, it was so gross.
He reminds me of the guy from Men in Black that's like in that trailer drinking sugar water and shit.
Yeah. More.
Yeah, more.
Yeah. Totally.
Fucking just fucked, man. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Fuck.
Yeah, the food was bad, and then even like Jack in the Box too. Like I was like eating that, and I was telling the vlog. I was like, ever since we left Canada, like we've just eaten nothing but shit food, and we don't even care about
garbage.
I'm eating this thing called a cluck, and it was just like pickles and fucking fried chicken like parts together. It was so bad. But, like, the gas stations, too, were pretty dope. Like, there was a lot of different options for, like, drinks and cigars and candy and shit. But
their cigarettes have, like, labels and shit?
Yeah, they're all different colors and flavors. And then there's the one gas station that we went to. The guy had, like, a fucking staff that was, like, the size of, like, a fucking Bic lighter. And he just pops it out, and then... He was happy.
He was one of those American dudes that was just like we all have seen this guy that's like the fucking archetypal gray ponytail, collared shirt. He's like, I'm an ex-military type. He's just like some guy's like real tough and all, you know. And he's got his little staff and he's got his little buck knife.
Throwing knives, bro.
Oh yeah,
throwing knives.
3 throwing knives on his fucking hip. He's like, yeah, so I work at fucking 76.
It wasn't even that ghetto too. Like the spot, it was like a highway gas station. But I mean,
we were still in Washington. It was like nice Washington.
Yeah. That was pretty funny. And then, what else was after that?
We drove all night after that.
Yeah, we drove all night.
The Oregon coast.
And then you started to smell salt water. And then we pulled over, tried to see the ocean, couldn't really see it.
It was foggy as fuck.
Yeah, it was really foggy, but I've heard from a lot of people that that's just how it is down there.
Yeah, me
too. Like, everyone I've said, like, oh, yeah, I went to the Oregon coast, and I was like, yeah, it was foggy, and they're like, yeah, it's foggy.
All the way down into California, though, I think we did pick a exceptionally foggy day to travel down there. Like, the idea was, like, we'd be driving through the night through, like, all, like, the landlocked areas, and then as soon as we came out to the ocean, it would be, like, sunrise, and that was the case. And we did kind of end up in, like, a extremely beautiful place right at sunrise.
Yeah.
And that was pretty dope. And it was seeing like the coastal like formations of rocks and shit. It was super dope.
Big waves, people fishing and swimming and
well, it's open ocean too. Like you don't see open ocean here in Vancouver, so you don't see like the big giant waves and the power of the ocean and shit. Right? It's surfable shit. You know?
Yeah, that was
pretty dope.
Like as far as the West Coast you can really get.
Yeah, for sure. So that was cool. And then we drove down throughout like the whole day, just through coastal Northern California. It was just like windy, twisty, windy, beach town, twisty, windy, beach town, twisty, windy, beach town.
Coffee,
yeah. And
twisty, windy, beach town, coffee.
They have that like trucker coffee down there too. That's like double strength. Like it's like 250 milligrams per 20-ounce serving, and we were drinking 26s of that shit.
It's like intense something. It was like
it was called energy coffee. That was it.
Energy coffee. It's just like
cram packed with B vitamins and caffeine and fucking bull jizz and shit. Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So just railed right out and driving through the California redwoods is pretty cool. They're fucking big trees.
Thick trees.
We're from BC, so it's not that crazy to see the California redwoods. But if you're from
but we didn't really see them
cool.
properly because I was looking them up after, and like apparently there's some out there, man, that are fucking
for sure
really really big. Like
talk shit about the redwood forest.
Yeah, really fucking huge. And then we stopped in, I think it was Coos Bay. Went to like Ace Hardware just to pick up a few supplies, and then we had a little mishap there.
Yeah, I dropped my favorite camera ever.
Yeah, wherever that is, but that was unfortunate. No.
It still works, but it all the stabilization, the auto stabilization's all fucked. So it's just like it used to be a really good handheld camera, and now it's only for static shots. So is what it is. But RIP timeline camera.
Yeah,
we got a lot of paint. That was fun. Cheap, shitty American hardware store paint with terrible caps that barely fucking sprayed.
Yeah.
And then we drove to San Francisco.
Yeah, that was a good time. I mean, it was a good drive. But
the Golden Gate Bridge is fucking wild.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's really big.
It's really tall. It's massive. I've never seen like a man-made thing that big before.
It's really long, too.
Yeah.
It's like fucking really long.
Super fucking big. That was pretty crazy. And then, you get into San Francisco, it was like West End, Vancouver vibes, very, prissy, nice, condos and,
old school.
People walking poodles and shit like that. And then right after that, it was just, East Hastings for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. And, the whole entire, downtown core of San Francisco is just, tents and garbage and homeless people and cops and a lot of the people kind of travel in packs, tight gangs, rove the streets and shit. It's kind of fucking. I mean, I'm not really exaggerating.
It was dirty.
It's pretty fucked up down there.
It was really dirty and fucking just a lot of sketchy people. And we've said it multiple times. We go downtown Vancouver, Hastings, Main area, and we don't hang out down there, but we're walking through there, pass by there to get to a venue, whatever, and we don't feel that unsafe. I don't feel like there's too much danger around us. There's a bit of comfort there, but that's also because our homeless people and drug users out there are not as scary, right? They're vicious at times, but when provoked. But out in San Francisco, it definitely felt like you should just be looking over your shoulder at all times.
For sure. I mean, straight up, their homeless people look healthier. I don't know what it is, but our homeless people are super skinny and tiny and wiry and skinny and they're all folded in half and But down there, the homeless people are kind of the fuck you say? You know what I mean? You're just whoa, shit. I don't know.
That's a good point. You could just kind of push one of ours over.
Easy, yeah. Down there, they're definitely considerably tougher. So.
And I feel like they have a lot of guns, too, down there.
Yeah, I still think that, crackhead's a crackhead, and if you have anything of value, including a gun, you just sell it for crack. So I think that, anyone that's addicted or fentanyl or meth or whatever, I think that they probably don't have guns for the most part, though the mid-level traffickers probably do for sure. All those corner boys, they probably don't carry them, but they probably have them stashed in the storm drain around the corner or stashed. I don't know. I just watched The Wire when I was fucking 20. I don't fucking know this shit, but yeah.
Yeah, and then we went to the hotel. Well, we went to the hotel right when we got there. Soma House. Shithole. It wasn't a shithole. It was a hole. It was a clean,
full of shit.
It was a clean hotel, and there was 2 beds, and they were made, and there was a shower and a coffee maker and a TV, and it was nicer than a Best Western, but it was just the customer service and the experience overall. When you go to a hotel, it should be nice and welcoming and convenient, and everything should be laid out and explained, and this is parking, and it wasn't that. It was one of those wait till you ask a question kind of things, and then they'll tell you a shitty answer that you don't want to hear. So I don't know. We still haven't left a review, but we're gonna leave 0 stars and write a Karen review. But once we parked the car, we loaded up all our shit in the hotel and kind of were like, what are we going to do? So then that's when we mobbed out and just walked around and filmed shit and tagged shit. And I didn't tag anything. I don't know, someone else was tagging shit. And then we were just chilling, grabbed some Jack in the Box. Once again, more shitty food, right? There was like a taco that you got, which had shitty lettuce and tomato in it, and
would like to state for the record that Jack in the Box sells 5 tacos for $3. So, if you're wondering where to get some affordable cuisine in the downtown San Francisco area, Jack in the Box will sell you 5 tacos for $3.
No, it's so bad, man. We
were
hungry, and
I didn't even I ate a couple bites of each thing, and I was just like this is because I've had like shit food before that I've brought home for myself, and then I'll give it to my chickens, and they'll be like, nah, dude, like they don't want this shit. It just stays in the side of the coop until like
mold.
The rats even are just fucking, like, fuck that.
Yeah, man, it was bad. And then we woke up the next day and realized there was like a taco spot across the street. We could have just got like some shit from there. But we ended up going and meeting up with Maddie. She's also from out here in Vancouver, and she's been to multiple ciphers and helped us out with a few things, filming and all that kind of stuff. So we met up with her, and then she's been to San Francisco before, so she showed us around a bit. We went to a graffiti store, grabbed some things from there, met that lady, and she kind of gave us a lay of the town and where to go, where not to go, where are the good alleys, where are the nice alleys and stuff like that. And
we definitely saw some crazy art down there, man.
Yeah. There's a really dope scene down there. Like the letter structure, just the colors and everything. It's something like I've never seen before, and it's everywhere too. Like
a lot of characters,
production pieces, like on corners and shit like that. Like literally just everywhere.
Because no one stops you at all. I think you can paint like with no bullshit in the middle of the day.
Yeah, Yeah. That was dope. And then we went to Under the Bridge skate park, which was like, a potential cypher venue spot we kind of wanted to check out. Even before we got there, we knew we wanted to check that spot out. And
super dope spot.
It would be perfect for a cypher, like a plaza vibe for sure,
There was 2 different really good locations in that park that would work really well and shoot really well, I think.
The one on the end, though, would be fire.
It would be fire if it was a tight, small cypher, but it depends how big we got down there. Because, I don't know. I feel something special about the Bay Area, man. We didn't really think much of it on the way down there because we didn't really have any connections. Yeah. Like we didn't meet anyone really over Instagram that to get us in at all. But Oakland is it's like all the cool bad kids that got kicked out of class in high school all moved to the one city and all took it over from the cops. It's lawless, but in a way that seems cool.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You got wheelies and shit, dirt bikes, quads in the street, and right in front of cops.
Everyone's smoking blunts, driving around cars with giant sacks of weed like this. I saw multiple people walking around with actual sacks of weed, and I don't see that even in BC.
No, not even on 420.
Not even on 420, and not at that quality, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that because we're from BC, I was like, no one's got better weed than us. I'm spoiled, man. I got all the good shit, and then, the second I got to California, I was like, oh, fuck. Their mid-grade is, our quads.
I think Vancouver weed is just the best weed that rappers smoke when they're on tour and shit.
Yeah.
Because, Snoop's from Cali, and he raves about Van City, BC Bud, but he's lives in Cali. They've got the best fucking
They definitely
weed.
have better weed in California.
So when you're on tour and shit, and you're going around trying weed from all these different places, Vancouver's definitely up there for sure compared to all the other places, right?
For sure. I would attribute a lot of that to private enterprise, but that's a topic for a different podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Oakland was dope as fuck. Shout out to Dope Arrow Whips Car Club and 5 Star. You guys are all dope. That whole place is dope. Alan Bluford Memorial Center welcomed us with open arms. They're like some cool kids. We saw I was literally just walking down the street looking. I was overwhelmed by how cool Oakland was. I was walking down the street and I was like, there's a MOTN basically. It looked just like the old MOTN, and I walked in there and they're like, hey, we're just setting up for a cypher. But we can't find this one cable, and our sound system isn't going to work. And I was just like, oh, fuck. Well, I have literally everything to set up a cypher exactly right here in my car. And they're like, okay, let's do it. So last minute, we just fucking galloped in there on a white horse and fucking saved the day for them and recorded their thing. They call it a cypher, but it's a lot more it's a showcase, right? So they just kind of run 3-song sets for each artist and submit your songs kind of thing, right? And it was super dope, and it's a really cool community vibe and everything. And because First Friday is going on, it's a big giant street party that happens there on the first Friday of the month every month. It's there's thousands of people out front of on the street, so that people keep stopping in, and the crowd's just rotating through constantly the whole night. So there was a lot of people there checking that out. We were in and out too. Kind of checking out some other stuff up the street. We got along really well with the Dope Arrow Whips Car Club, so we were over there hanging out with them for quite a while in the night. And Tejas and Bobby, fuck yeah, man, they were dope people, man. I really appreciate that. That was definitely a big part of my life when I was in my early 20s. Was hot rods and motorcycles, and I was deep in that world, man. And it was kind of cool to just be on this little journey and then just see a little whiff of that, catch a little whiff of that, and just be oh yeah, I know this. You guys didn't even know how well I know this. This is my battlefield, my old battlefield anyway.
Yeah, that was really sick, man. Honestly, just I've never seen anything like that before. I see that shit in movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, that showcase was pretty interesting. It was good, you know. It was hard, you know, not to kind of take over and just be yo, cut the tracks, put on a beat tape, let's put the mics out.
I wanted to so bad because I know exactly what needed to happen there.
Yeah, because you know, that place and that day and that, you know, specific night had a lot of potential to get some pretty crazy clips, and that's the only way you're gonna get them is just by not controlling the event, right? Just letting it breathe and letting people off the street walk in. No $5 cover, nothing. Just walk in and see what you got.
Exactly.
Right? That would have been dope.
Let her rip. Let her
like
spit,
I said, it was
prove.
still amazing, and you know, we're still so blessed to be able to meet those people and be welcomed with open arms. And there was no ifs, ands, or buts. We're just just come in and set up your equipment, and you want to film too? Yeah, sure. Yeah, track the audio. Yeah, you know, use this table and stand over there, use a tripod.
Yeah, one of the things that happened at the very end of the day, we had been kind of fucking around, in and out of this cypher thing, in and out of the street party, in and out of the car club thing, and then at the very end of the day, we were all set up and we had everything ready to multi-track and film the cypher like we usually do, and we just came back and we saw this. We were interviewing this other dude, and we saw this girl start performing, and she was doing such an amazing job. And we
Leah.
I was kind of on mushrooms too, and then she started singing like a fucking angel, and it was so good. There was a guy accompanying her on guitar, and he was really good too. And they played a couple of covers, and it was. We filmed the last one. And it was a really epic moment. And there was a guy with a bubble gun there that shot bubbles all over, and they were all floating bubbles. And this girl was singing so beautifully, and I was high on mushrooms, and everybody was vibing out, and it was a really good time. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, she killed that shit.
She killed that shit for sure.
Kind of remind me of Anna Santos a bit.
Yeah. For sure.
But yeah, Oakland was dope. It was a good time. We were constantly checking the car as well because there's a lot of break-ins that happen out there. So a few people warned us, yo, did you check on the web? Yo, go check on the web.
Yeah.
Go check on the web. So it was, you know, every half an hour, 20 minutes even, we're just going out
That's
there.
what I kept thinking, though, is because they kept telling us, you got to keep checking on your car. What's going to happen if I check on the car and, oh, yeah, the windows got smashed and all our shit's gone? I'm yep, you got fucked. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I could just find out I got fucked later.
I guess.
Because if I roll up on the exact second that the car is being robbed, and then now I have to go kill that guy over there, that's the only possible
with the
positive
laws in America,
outcome.
You're going to jail, buddy.
You know?
Yeah.
I just don't understand why we were even bothering to look at it. I think you just kind of just put up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know what you mean. But yeah, like that's their thing, right? Like you'd hope it happened. I guess it happens so frequently that you would catch the guy if you keep checking on it every once in a while. That's the idea.
Statistically, but I mean, even then, it's like how much time are you gonna spend in front of your car? Like that doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know.
It is what it is.
I don't know.
Got in the car, loaded the gear, left Oakland.
Middle of the night.
Yeah, around 11:30, midnight, and just drove right through the night. I kind of took over there and was just ripping the highway, doing like 130 the whole way, and then we slowly started to get into LA. The sun was just coming up around that time, and then I put on the Chronic on my phone, and it definitely felt like we were in LA, right? Listening to old school Dr. Dre, 2001.
Yeah.
And then we had a plan to meet up with MC Wicks at a certain time, and that's pretty much why we left Oakland when we did, or else we probably would have stayed a bit longer. But we were meeting up with him at 11 a.m. at Castle Barbecue. That's one of his favorite Korean barbecue spots. He's from Fresno, but whenever he goes down to LA, he's always stopping there right away. So we had a few hours to kill. We didn't really know where to go or what to do, so we fueled up a bit of gas. One of our first stops was the house with the Boys in the Hood, where that was filmed. So we checked that out, rolled through Compton a bit, listened to more classic LA hip hop, and then it was time for a bathroom break. So we were just driving up along Malibu, looking at all those mountains and stuff, and then we pulled into like a random golf course, and it turned out to be the Trump golf course, and then took a shit in there, and had a little nap outside in the parking lot, and then we went down to the beach area. I don't know what beach that was, but it was really long, and it was pretty early. People were doing their morning walks with their dog, and seen like a mermaid. I think it was like a fake mermaid person.
What? Never mind.
Maybe I was just seeing shit. And then, and then it was time to meet up with Wicks. So we went to Korean barbecue, Castle Barbecue. Shout out to them for letting us film in there.
Shout out to them for having the most remarkable bulgogi in the entire fucking world.
Yeah, that was good food, man.
So good.
$30 a person, all you can eat.
Yeah.
Right? Comes with a drink, and they just keep bringing you ribs and chicken and kimchi and rice and all kinds of stuff. So,
bulgogi is the most tender and delicious and flavorful meat I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
It's beef that's so soft that you could drink it with a fucking straw.
Yeah.
It's insanity.
Yeah, it was super nice and marinated and chopped up finely, so you're not having a hard time like digesting, like, compared to steak where you got to really chew that shit up and get it down, right?
Totally.
But we ended up wanting to shoot a podcast inside the restaurant there, but tech-wise and stuff, things just weren't really working out the way we wanted them to. So
it looked shitty too. We were in like a weird corner, and it just looked sweaty, and everyone looked shiny.
I mean, compared to the alternative, right?
Yeah.
Like, fuck, man. Graph Lab was crazy.
Yeah, so Graph Lab's a place that, like, Wicks had seen it on Instagram, I think was all it was, and he just knew that there was a place called Graph Lab in LA, and he just looked it up on his phone on Google and just, like, called it randomly, called the number, and he's like, hey, I'm looking to shoot a podcast. Is there any way we can come through? And he's like, yeah, just give a little donation to the Graph Lab, and so we each gave him, a few bucks or whatever, and went out to this place called the Graph Lab, and it's like in the middle of a thing called the Pico Union Housing Corporation. It's like a low income housing facility or area, I guess, neighborhood, bunch of like townhouses and shit, run by this Pico Housing whatever corporation, and like the old courtyard that's like in the center of it has like a bit of a parking lot and a basketball court and what used to be, I guess, like a loading dock, and maybe there was like another facility or a warehouse there that's been like knocked down or something. So it's like all that's left of what used to be like a warehouse is like just this big concrete loading dock that's been turned into a stage. So like the whole place is basically purpose built for like perfect like festivals and like something kind of like a cypher organization festival, which is kind of what we had our eye on the second we showed up to the place. We was like, holy fuck, if you threw a cypher here, like this would be insane. It was so like picturesque and such like a perfect place for that. So
yeah,
that was pretty dope. But yeah, Ricky, he's this like older Latino dude who runs the place, and he does a lot for, I don't know exactly what his position is with Pico Union, but like he does like a lot of like the building maintenance and management of all the different facilities that they own, and even in different cities too, because I know they're in San Antonio, New Mexico a lot, and a bunch of other places, Arizona and shit. So yeah, so he was a super nice dude, and he just like he helped us out a lot, man. He was really happy to like let us shoot there and do whatever there, and he was telling us about the history of the Graph Lab, this like public place. So like this facility, like they allow any painter off the street to like come in whenever they're open, and just for like a $20 donation or whatever, you can get enough of a wall space to do a piece, and they'll just like whatever like blank out a piece and just give you a fresh spot. And yeah, that's basically their whole plan there. So it's just this constantly rotating cycle of dope graph art, and
BYOP.
Bring your own paint. Yeah, hell yeah. It's pretty dope. I've never really seen anything like that that's like private before, because I mean it's sort of public, but it's private. Like it's very much privately owned.
You could tell these writers frequent through there fucking often too, because like we spent quite a bit of time there. I think we went there like 4 different times throughout the whole trip, and each time there was different shit all over the walls. So
totally.
You know, with like I wouldn't be surprised if you go there at 11 a.m., paint a piece, and by 1 p.m. it's gone, right? Like that was dope. But yeah, I've never seen anything like that either, and like I think it's really important to have that space, because like graffiti is an art is expression, and people are, you know, expressing themselves in whatever way they can. And, you know, it's not really legal to paint in the streets and stuff like that. You got kids getting locked up, getting tickets and stuff for painting pieces in the streets or even under bridges or whatever. So to be able to have a spot where, you know, you could just go donate $10-$20 and get a wall is sick. And you can blast your own tunes there. You could bring a barbecue if you wanted. You can smoke there. You can sip some brews and do your thing. So shout out to Ricky for doing that. But you know, as we spent more time there, we definitely wanted to get a bit more of an understanding of Ricky himself and the Pico housing unit and all that kind of stuff. So we did a podcast with him inside the main building of the Graph Lab. That was a really good podcast. Definitely got a lot of insight about his life growing up in Pico Union. He's born and raised there. He's lived there his whole life. And, you know, he was talking a lot about just growing up there and how it used to be compared to how it is now. And it was a great conversation, and he has a lot of plans for the future for that place. They want to tear it down and kind of build up more of a art building with like an overpass that connects the two from different lots across the street. And yeah, he's got his whole 3D model laid out in his office of exactly how he wants it to look. And you know, he's starting to get grants and whatnot for funding, and that's a beautiful thing to see as well. And yeah, it was a good podcast, like I said. And then we went home that day or whatever we did after that. And then the next day he kind of messaged you, right? And he texted you, and he was just like, yo, you guys want to go on a tour of LA? And that was something that we wanted to do, not just with Ricky or whatever. We just wanted someone to do that, but we didn't really know how to reach out for that or how to ask for that. So we kind of just accepted the fact that we would just go take it upon ourselves and tour LA. But we were grateful to have Ricky. Like, you know, he just met him at the Graph Lab, tried to give him some gas money, he wouldn't take it.
Dude, he took us around everywhere. Yeah, like he smoked us up the best dope ever. He was smoking Gorilla Glue number 4, super sticky all day long. He kept passing me giant doobies, the ones that are all covered in keef and shit. Yeah. And like we're just cruising around, and like again, like I see those people here in Vancouver too that are like, I don't care about smoking weed in my car. I just smoke wherever I want all the time, always, and I don't give a shit even for 1 second. And I'm not like that. Anytime, like I smoke weed constantly and in my car too, but I'm just like, I'm always like, I'm so fucking like mirror, like I'm freaking out. You know what I mean? And then like Ricky all day just like.
Yeah, like red lights in front of the courthouse.
Yeah, there's just like 40 people like right beside us in traffic, and like moms and kids in their cars and shit. And it's just
even if you were like 5 cars back, you would see the like smoke just coming out.
There's no way you can't smell it. Like you're like, those guys are smoking dope. You know what I mean? From like down the block, you can very clearly see it.
Weed smoke has a different smoke than other like cigarette smoke and shit.
Oh, for sure,
too,
yeah.
Like,
We're so obviously
stale smoke
as
like
fuck.
in the air. Fuck, man.
But no, it was great. He took us all around. We saw all the sights. We got up to like the observatory park and stuff. I saw the big view of the city and
Dodger
cityscape.
Stadium.
Dodger Stadium. Yeah, that was great. So it was dope. It was a good time seeing all that. Mad love to Auntie Tracy. We were staying there with my my sister's wife's friend's house. It was a random situation, but she's like family now.
She was really dope.
Yeah,
Very
she's super
welcoming.
dope. Yeah, very welcoming, very helpful.
Very
wonderful lady.
helpful.
Extremely
Making
helpful.
our bed
Thoughtful.
and
thoughtful.
and just so considerate of every single thing, and she's helping me with my back and rollers and yoga mats and fucking
Totally
stretching stuff and
she
coffee
went
every
way
morning.
out of her way to like,
and-
because she's like, oh, you're down here for hip hop stuff. Like, okay, let me leverage every single connection I have in my entire life to find out everything I possibly can about the LA hip hop scene for you guys.
Yeah,
Let's
her
make 40 phone calls.
Next
Like, she
door
went
neighbor
way out of
comes
her way.
over. He's a DJ. He's been in the scene. and
Jamel.
the other Jack guy or whatever, Jake or whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Like, I wasn't expecting that, right?
Yeah,
Like,
she was super dope, man. So yeah, she gave us a room to stay in. So we both had air mattresses to sleep on. It was super dope, man. It was super dope. But yeah. So one of the other things, I was just like cruising. Like when we got to town, we didn't even know about this event, but like I saw DJ Lala posted on her Instagram the DMC LA Championships was that weekend. The weekend that we got there, so like I think it was literally the day after the Wix thing, before we even did the Ricky tour, and we went to Long Beach to go see the DMC at Thunder Studios, and we met DJ Babu, and that was fucking awesome because DJ Babu is a hero of mine. If you've never seen the 1997 beat juggling championships, Google that and watch DJ Babu's Blind Alley routine because it will blow your fucking head off. And you'll be a fan of turntablism after you watch that for sure. So it was great to meet him. It was great to meet a whole mess of people there that were really inspiring and cool. Like we always like roll heavy with like the microphones and the cables and the cameras and everything. So we were like ready to go, and it was just kind of a opportune moment. So we decided to make like a little recap reel, as we so often do, with the whole "Who are you and why are you here" thing, and we go around doing this, and that was really fun. And one of the people that we saw there was this the host with the most, Taquan the MC, was like absolutely crushing it. Like you've never seen a host like this before. The energy out of this dude was just fucking superb. So as we're doing our thing, it's just like, okay, well, we got to interview that guy at some point, or else we're not doing our jobs right.
Yeah.
And we go over and talk to this dude, and Soul talks to him. He's like, yo, what defines a cypher to you? And he gave us like the best, most like concise answer, and he like really summed it up perfectly in just like a 10-second soundbite. And you're just like, holy shit, man. Like that was amazing.
No, he was dope. He knew exactly what a cypher was. Every question, he was just, he so passionate, and you could just tell from the aura of his energy that he's just hip hop and just so passionate about it. And like, it was, we asked everyone like, oh, what is a cypher? And even in Vancouver, like, what is a cypher, whatever. And like, you usually get like the same, like, oh, it's circle of energy, people passing it off. But like, he was just like on point. Like he knew we were going to ask him that before we even asked him that.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. It was crazy for sure. Like he is very, very submerged in hip hop culture, and you can tell he has been since day one for sure. So he's like been with the movement since since the height of it, anyways. Not since the formative days, probably, because I don't know exactly how old he is, but I mean, he made some great points. Like, so we naturally we reached out to him for a podcast right away. We're like, we got to talk to this dude in long form. Yeah, and he was super receptive. Like, absolutely, for sure, sounds great. When can we do it? And so I think we planned it for like 3 days later or something like that. And we came back and we interviewed him in Long Beach at a dope little park in the projects somewhere, and just off the side of the highway, kind of.
Yeah.
on a park bench. And side note, fuck, that podcast looked really cool. It's gonna come out probably after this one, but yeah, that was a really dope experience too. Yeah, I mean, he just like he really schooled us like and gave us a lot of game that like it's hard to come across people that you can immediately respect and understand that they've got the experience and knowledge that you need to look up to.
Yeah.
You know, and you're doing yourself a disservice by not like listening to these people and like learning as much as you possibly can from these people because like and we have those people here in Vancouver, absolutely. There's a handful of them for sure, you know, not too many and not nearly as many as there is down there, but there are people that really truly breathe and live the culture and understand it from the core and they've been around it for, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. Those are the expert level people that really understand this. And those are the ones that kind of like talk to people like us who are trying to do what we're trying to do. And like they help guide us and like make sure that we're doing the shit right. And we even had that very conversation with the guy. We're just like, what do we need to do, man? Like tell us like we want to keep it real, man. We don't want to fuck this up. And he just gave us some amazing advice. And yeah, that podcast is going to come out soon. So
yeah, kind of reminded me of the graphics podcast too.
Graphic, yeah, absolutely.
Graphic, yeah, someone who gives a shit and wants to make sure that the culture stays alive in its purest form.
Yeah,
and Taquan did a great job of that. Just everything that he was saying and talking about and it could have gone longer if we really wanted it to, I feel like he had somewhere to be or something. He's probably got family, but I said like one more question probably 5 times because I just I just couldn't get enough and I was almost in tears, man. Like,
bro, me too. Like it was
just crazy. I don't really know how to explain it. You're just going to have to watch the podcast when it comes out. But that was by far the most in-depth and coolest, rewarding conversation about hip-hop that I've ever had. And Graphic even said the same kind of shit. He's like, wow, like I've never talked about hip-hop like this. Like that kind of shit. Like it's just these podcasts and stuff and these questions, they make you go down certain avenues that you wouldn't if you're just kind of alone thinking about whatever. So super blessed to be able to have that conversation with Taquan, man.
Dude, I remember like the second that conversation was over and he left, he got into his SUV and drove away, and we just like looked at each other, and it was like the way that we looked at each other was like we looked at each other after the old MOTN ciphers at the height of the shit when it was like the craziest it's ever been.
What the fuck just happened?
What the fuck? And that was literally the first time that a podcast ever made us feel that way.
Yeah.
Like I've never we've had some great podcasts. And
you're like, there he goes, just getting in his car, driving away.
Fuck.
Like nothing ever happened. Yeah, bye.
Bye. Just shatter our minds and fucking leave. Right on, bud.
Yeah. Fuck, man. Yeah. Crazy. Totally. And then even since then, like, he's followed me on Instagram and he's liked like a few of my posts and shit, and I've sent him like a couple tracks, and he's been like all supportive of that shit too. Like he recognized real for sure. Like that guy he's a legend, and he told us about like a lot of his history in hip hop and like being on radio shows and like working with like legends, KRS-One and shit like that, and performing in front of 60,000 people and touring the world. And fuck, man, I'm not, like I said, I'm grateful to fucking sit with that guy, man.
Hell yeah.
100%.
Hell yeah. Those are the people that keep this thing alive for real, man. It's not like it's not just the Mount Rushmore motherfuckers, the Biggies and the Pacs and the Kendricks and the J. Coles and shit. Like at the end of the day, the people that really are on the ground, boots on the ground, really doing the thing for real, are guys like Taquan.
You got a minute left.
Yeah.
On the timer.
We saw this dude outside the DJ battles. He was painting this like fabric thing. It was like a I don't know, fabric thing that he was painting, and it was windy as fuck, and it was very difficult because it was like the fabric was going like this, and the wind blowing the paint itself, and the guy was just like fucking really having a tough time, but he still knocked it out of the park and made the coolest piece. This like DJ dude scratching on some like Tech 12s and shit. Kind of reminded me a little bit of a Smokey D kind of thing, right? And it's like pretty dope, right? Like hip hop characters, like super like archetypal, like with the long flowing fingers and shit like that. It was really cool. Anyways, we started chatting this dude up, and Soul brought up like the towers in downtown LA, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm up there. We're like, "Oh shit, like that's pretty cool." So we like kind of thought about that for a minute, and like what if we put a mask on this dude and podcast with him? And we just asked, and he said yes. And, we showed him like a couple of the podcasts that we've done in the past, and he's like, fuck yeah, let's do it. And so that was another reason to drive out to Long Beach. We did that, we drove to Long Beach probably 4 or 5 times throughout the whole trip, but we ended up to the point where we actually like know the Long Beach at this point. Like, I kind of know where shit is and like where the tacos are and shit, But what the fuck was I just saying?
He was down from the moment we asked him to do the podcast. And
fuck yeah.
He gave us a location.
It was like a drain culvert with a bunch of homeless people in it. And a guy with
garbage
a
everywhere,
machete.
But he had a piece there. And we set up the folding chairs from Graph Lab. Shout out Ricky for letting us use your chairs.
Fuck yeah.
And we shot a podcast right in front of Aquino's piece. Talked about the history of LA graffiti. Graffiti culture all around the States. He has pieces in New York and a bunch of other legendary spots, and kind of told us a story of how he got into graffiti, told us the story of the day that he went and hit those towers. It was a little bit rainy and it was, pitch black up there, and he was just talking about the feeling of being 30 stories in the air, painting a piece. And I'm so happy we got that interview, because I've seen other like interviews with graph writers and shit, and it's always so like, ooh, like let me get my popcorn. I want to listen to this shit. So that's gonna be a good one for sure.
Definitely, it was really exciting to see that. So behind the scenes kind of shit, So we've all seen that, like the footage, drone footage of the graph towers, like time and time again online. It's been like pretty viral kind of moment, but I've never seen anyone actually like explain towers. It before. So. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, we got some drone footage of the ground.
We did, yeah. With no incident whatsoever. We didn't crash the drone onto some little black kids.
Yeah, that was
big black dad.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. That was bad. That was really.
Y'all drop y'all drone?
I don't even want to talk about that.
No, let's not talk about that. We've said enough.
Yeah.
That's all you get, Vancouver. The fuck else happened while we were down there? We went to VIP Records. That's kind of like dope. That's where Snoop Dogg shot his first ever music video in Long Beach, California. That's a really cool place. It's run by like Absol's family and shit, and just a whole bunch of legendary artists, all the way from like Kendrick, Snoop, and like that whole like California movement. Like everybody, Dr. Dre's like spinning records in there when he's like 20 years old and shit. Like the place is absolutely legendary and completely like from the top to bottom covered in hip hop history. So it was dope to show up there, shake some hands, meet some cool people. Shout out to Matrix. Shout out to Mexican Leather Crew. And that was lots of fun, man. I had a great time. Shout out to Pops and everybody at VIP Records. It was a really cool time, man. It was dope to see, dope to hear a lot of the stories that they had, Mm-hmm. It's just a cool environment there, a cool community. You can tell that it's some real shit.
From a mile away.
Yeah.
It was Kelvin Anderson's birthday actually, and he's the owner of VIP Records, and Cletus Anderson used to own Magic Disc Records, which is not too far from there, but that place is shut down. But Absol used to like sleep in the back in a crib, like they used to kind of live in that record shop, and then passed the torch down to his brother, and Kelvin Anderson celebrated his birthday at VIP Records, and then his nephew was also there, or his son, I think, was there, and we met him, and I got a shirt. I think you got a shirt as well, and we just kind of explained the cypher, and we're from Vancouver, and what we do, and we showed them some clips, and they were totally open to potentially throwing a cypher there, and
which would be pretty
it's
epic.
A pretty sick venue, and it would be a dope spot, and to be able to say that we threw a cypher in the same place that Dre was scratching records in his 20s would be iconic. No pun intended. But, after that, we grabbed some tacos at Manny's Tacos for the second time. It was a really good taco truck. It was like $6 for like a big torta sandwich, and then you got like $2.50 tacos and shit, and just crushed those tacos, man. Like just fucking all day I could eat those tacos.
That was the only time the entire time we were down there that I saw anybody that was remotely threatening to us was at that exact moment when we were down there. We were just like walking down the promenade and there was like a group of like 4 young urban kids and they were very
antsy.
Yeah.
They were looking to kill someone.
They wanted to beat somebody to death in public for reputation, I think.
And they probably did that night.
They probably killed somebody that night.
That was their goal from the moment they woke up. Who knows what?
But they just like ran past us and like shouted at us and said some crazy things in words that I'm not allowed to say. And I don't know. We just kind of just blasted right past them and just kept looking forward and just like, tacos. We're here for tacos. This is fine. This is all fine. This is fine. And
yeah.
And it was all right. Everything was good. We were in public enough that I think everything was cool.
Yeah, there's kids there and fair. I mean, fuck, who knows?
I think if we look back for 1 second, if either of us looked back for 1 second, that would have been a fist fight right there. Those kids would have pulled out knives, if not a gun.
Yeah, 100%.
Right away, dude.
100%.
If we even look back for 1 second, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and Riley kept trying to get me to go to Hooters. He kept like trying to do this, like, you know. No, I'm just playing. There was a Hooters there. Yeah. There was a Hooters there.
I don't like Hooters.
It's pretty PG now, I bet, compared to back in the day.
It's 2024, so you can definitely see like way more kinky shit on like the Food Network, probably.
Yeah. Mukbangs.
Mukbang.
Yeah.
I really like that word. I like saying the word mukbang. I just learned that word like 2 weeks since we got back from California, actually.
Yeah, mukbangs are good.
Mm-hmm. Mukbang.
Mashed potato mukbang.
Taquito mukbang.
That's fucking gross.
Just in like one.
Ew, that's fucking gross.
You know what I mean?
I've seen that with like fucking
hot
octopus
dogs
and like jellyfish.
Really?
Asian, like a raw live jellyfish Asian lady like.
In one piece?
No, chewing it and like eating it, or like a fucking dirty old squid and just like slurping it up, and it's culture. I don't know. I guess that's what
that's mukbang.
That's what they do. What else happened after Long Beach? Pretty sure we just went home that night.
We went back to Tracy's. Venice a couple of times. I mean, like every night that we like were around, like every night we kind of just like hopped in the car and went and checked out some shit. We didn't like waste any time while we were down there. So we were always either podcasting or just kind of wandering around LA and just kind of seeing sights. Like one night we drove up to the Hollywood sign. That was kind of dope. Smoke a joint up on the hill kind of thing. Look out. And
yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah.
You know, and then, we went and checked out Venice Beach and the Santa Monica Pier a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Those are dope spots, dope locations.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like both those places are like amazing places to visit and terrible places to live.
Yeah.
I feel like if you lived in Venice Beach, you'd hate your life.
We went there 4 or 5 times throughout the whole trip, and each and every one of those times I've seen a lot of the same people.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's very much like you can see how it's like such like a touristy location, and like people like there's one guy like selling his fucking rap CDs in the street there, and he keeps like, "Hey man, can I show you my song?" And the second he puts the headphones on, he gives you a CD. He's like, "Here, this is for you." And then you're like, "Oh, thanks, man." And you put it in your pocket. And then he's like, "I'm just asking for a quick donation." And you're like, "Ah, fuck."
And then he takes his CD back.
Yeah. So I mean, but that, like the music I was listening to, I was like, "Oh God!" I was like, "Yeah, I can hear the fucking cracked version of FL11 and your fucking Focusrite, 2i2, and your fucking."
All gang shit.
It was really bad, It was really bad. But anyways, we come back the next day, and then like he comes right up because we talk to that guy because we're hip hop people, and we like talk to the dude for like 20 minutes, and then come back the next day, and he's just like completely blank faced, like just like, "Hey man, you want to listen to my thing?" Running this scam like again, and we're just like just no, like we don't like we all look the same to you, I guess. Like
yeah. Invited him to the cypher.
Yeah.
Never came through.
No, he's... Yeah.
We got a massage on Venice Beach, too. It was just like a last
Dude, we got a
decision.
sad ending massage.
Yeah.
That's when the
It was the
90-year-old
weirdest
Chinese
massage
ladies...
ever. Like, they put plastic all over top of you. Like, there's a sheet, and then there's plastic.
Human condom.
So, like, you're getting this massage, and it just sounds like a plastic bag, like, crinkling, like, every single time they, like...
Fully clothed.
Fully clothed. And
shoes on. Everything.
no English. They didn't know any English at all. Just 20-minute, $20. 20-minute, $20. I was like, yeah, let's fucking do it. Let's do it up. During the whole time, I was just laughing. I couldn't even stop laughing.
I heard him start groaning and shit. I think he was
purpose.
trying to make me laugh. Yeah. I was just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, ah! I'm fucking laughing my ass off.
Guaranteed they're looking at each other like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we got a picture all together at the end. Fuck, it was really fun. It was a funny night.
That was
They were dope ladies. And then, I remember the next day, they remembered who the fuck we were the next day because we were walking past. We're like, oh, hi! Hey, lady, how are you? That was fucking dope.
Yeah, no, that was fucking solid, man.
Yeah, they were cool as fuck.
Yeah, lots of sitting in the car that whole trip. You know, I don't know how many hours we were there, but I feel like at least 48 of them were sitting down.
Easily. More probably. Like so much time in that car. That was wild. Yeah. So definitely needed that. Took some recovery time when we got home. But yeah, we decided like Venice Beach is like kind of like the hot spot for young people kind of in LA, I guess. And yeah, you can see there's like a lot of cool people do show up for sure from all around the country and all around the world. And there's tourists like crazy. So there's a lot of like cool young people showing up for the skate park and for just the boardwalk or whatever, right? So we figured like it would be a cool spot to go Granville Street style cypher, throw out the EXM Mobile 12s and set it all up and throw the mics out on a stand and just put a sign out that says "Got Bars" and just see what people are down with.
Didn't really work.
Didn't really work at all. It was super TikTok-y, super...
It was like an hour
weird.
and a half of just instrumentals.
Yeah.
Like before anyone like...
Nobody touched the mic at all for a long time. Yeah.
You know, I was quite shocked, but, you know, to think about it, like, it is, I guess, an oversaturated thing at Venice. People trying to busk or whatever. So
yeah,
like,
for sure. So they show up, and if you're not, like, as good as, like, Noble... then they're just going to be like, well, fuck this. Like, there's so many opportunities. There's, like this Caribbean dance crew right across the way that are doing, like, backflips and, like, cartwheels and, like, the craziest dance moves you've ever seen, spinning around on their heads and shit, right? So it's like...
I'll go watch them.
I just walk 20 feet and see that instead of these dildos poorly rapping on the side of the street.
Yeah.
So that's what that was. It was, there was some cool people that showed up. There was a dude that showed up in a blue T-shirt who could sing very well.
Guys showed up with
If you're watching
baby.
this, you have a beautiful voice, sir. The baby guy was kind of cool, and then he kind of just didn't really know when to put it down. He just kind of kept rolling and rolling and rolling, and we were like, oh, fuck. But we got some cool pictures of him and his baby. He brought, like, earmuffs for his baby, and his baby, like, strapped on his tits, and then, like, earmuffs on the baby. So it was kind of a look, you know?
Yeah, tried passing the mic to his little child there. But shout out to Maddie and all her friends for coming out and helping.
Maddie
us
was
with
holding
that
it down like a motherfucker, yeah.
Moving gear and, volunteering for that. So thank you to those people, That was very helpful. And then we ended up running into some organization. I don't even really remember who they are, but they seemed to think what we were doing was very interesting and wanted to interview us, which was the first time that we were on the other end of the podcast from the whole trip. So shot a little interview with them, and pretty much just they asked us who we are and why we're there and what we do in Vancouver and what makes it special and why ciphers are so important to us and stuff like that. So we met those people, and then King Cass's cousin showed up.
Elijah, yeah. Hell
last minute.
Elijah.
Sunset Cypher crew. Yeah, that was pretty dope. It was pretty dope. It was a good time.
Here's the thing, though, is just that, like, we're spoiled because we've been doing this we've done, like, 120 ciphers. So more, yeah. Like, we know so much about it. We've experienced so many incredibly high-intensity moments that it's like, our standards are pretty high for this shit.
Yeah.
And other people in different cities have considerably lower standards for a cypher and for what's dope and for what's fun, I think. And I don't know. I think we sometimes like lose track of that. Like our you know, because even in Vancouver, right? Like there'll be situations like we've said to each other before, like we don't feel that magic that we used to at the MOTN, but I still see it. I still see somebody walk into book club even, you know, which like no offense, but like the book club ciphers were kind of like the weakest era of our story. Like this, and they were awesome. They were a lot of fun. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. We love book club, and it was a wonderful time. But like it was not like yo from the front to the back if you love where you at. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't fucking wild. So, I don't know. What the fuck was I talking about?
Just standards in different cities.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you got to have those time periods as well to humble yourself a bit and kind of...
Yeah, what I was gonna say is like just like even then in like the book club era, it's like people still walk up those stairs and see it for the first time, and they're looking around like the initial MOTN days, and they're like, "What? This is so amazing! Oh my god!" So their minds are blown when we're just like holding the camera, like snoozing, right? like
yeah.
So you know, it's definitely something to like not lose sight of the fact that like other people are really enjoying this. Not you know, it doesn't necessarily have to go that way all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not always about us, Riley.
No.
It's not always about us.
No. And well, I mean, we got King Cass and Griff and Truth and Bobby. You know,
the fuck
we got
is
these
Truth?
Badass motherfuckers.
Yeah.
He's that gay communist kid, remember? With
Yeah,
the
that's
triangular
right. Okay.
cock.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Big
right.
wide at the bottom and then
the green
narrow
hat
at the top
with the red star on top.
Exactly.
Okay.
That one.
Yeah, so King Cass and, you know, Bobby and Wales and Griff and Josie even and Gold Kid and all these people that, you know, like...
murderers. Like
they've been to 100 ciphers. They've performed... They've rapped
spoiled.
more hours at the cipher than in booths. So it's just like...
by so much.
They're so... like seasoned with this shit. They know exactly how to hold a cipher down. They know what beats to rap in certain ways over. They know what moments the crowd's most hype. They know when to go back and forth.
It's like what we know. Like, I mean, there's so much.
It's unbelievable. And you know, even before we started hitting record on this, we were talking about like other artists that are at like a way higher position and level than the people that we call friends. Like they wouldn't be able to hold themselves in a cipher environment. Like
totally.
They could freestyle and shit like that, but when it comes to like, you know, when people, the reason why people like get that like, holy shit, this is crazy, is because like there's chemistry at our cipher between these people. And also, like, they know what they're doing, right? Like, it's not just, like, a freestyle circle of people. Like, it is, and like, technically, but, like, at the end of the day, like, there's stuff going on behind the scenes that people don't know. And that's what gives it that, like, wow factor of, like, holy shit, like, is this planned? Or, well, this is crazy, right?
Totally.
Like,
it's like when you see a hockey team that's like really like well oiled and like they're all passing it to each other and they just like you can see those movements like oh, you know, Sedin passes the other guy, like boom over there across him again, whoa! You know, it's like that excitement level really builds up and it's all based on chemistry and experience, and it's like when that's not present, it's not as magnetic by a long shot, right? It doesn't draw people in like it does, you know, in Vancouver. So I think it's an essential part of if we're ever gonna like really solidify our like touring model and do ciphers in other cities, right?
You guys gotta come.
You gotta fucking come with us.
Bobby Blaze, King Cass,
Gold Kid, Truth.
Get your passport.
Yes.
Let's rent a van.
Yeah.
Let's go do a cipher.
Tariq's down. He's got his shit together.
He's from Edmonton.
He's not even. Yeah, he's from a fucking shithole one horse
what
town
else
in the
do you
middle
want
of
out of
Alberta.
your career? Like, what do you want to do? Because at the end of the day, like, this is a once in a lifetime thing, and you can go tour the prairies if you want, but like, there's fuck all there.
Be the king of Kelowna. Huh?
Yeah, and then you start doing steroids and get tattoos and shit.
Oh, and you lose your neck. You lose your neck completely. You don't have a neck anymore. They're rapping like this.
Like Ricky J.
Oh, yeah. We love Ricky J.
Yeah, we do.
I love Ricky J.
We do.
Yeah.
Cole walked in the Fortune Cypher and like grabbed the mic from Ricky J and was like, stop. Like,
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's like, you're done. He's like, Ricky, stop. Like, you're done.
Does he know Ricky?
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course he knows him. But
Well,
he's just
Ricky
like,
was far from the
stop.
worst that we saw that night.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. For the listener, we're just fresh off of the first ever Fortune Sound Club cypher. Was Friday.
First cypher after
Sunday?
LA.
It's Monday now. Yeah, first cypher after LA. Honestly, yeah, after we got back from LA, that was like the pinnacle of it was the shitty cypher. So that was basically the end of the trip. And then we drove home. It was just like a one shot. We were just like done with the trip, ready to get back. So it was just like straight through, no sleep, ton of that fucked up crazy meth coffee. And, we were just
Pilot gas station.
Oh, yeah, that was fucked. But we made it, and we got back, and this dude went to work like 3 hours after we got home. It was crazy. Yeah. But, yeah, man, just like a week went by, we started putting out podcasts. We put out the Wix podcast. We put out the Wix bars on Instagram, did incredibly well, and just made us feel really proud and happy that we did all the work that we did. And it just it was just off such a great start. And then we put out the Neighborhood Kids podcast, and that clip did super well. And, we didn't talk about the Neighborhood Kids. The whole San Diego trip, bro.
I know.
Fuck. All right, well, let's talk about the Neighborhood Kids. San Diego trip. We went to San Diego.
Yeah.
On that Thursday, while we were down there, we went to San Diego, and we met up with Boo Boo the Prince and the Neighborhood Kids, and that was absolutely fantastic. What an experience, man. Like, the Neighborhood Kids, right off the bat, are some of the most tenacious and driven and well-educated, at least as far as the culture goes. Like, they really, really understand the history of this movement and where it's come from and where it's going and how to integrate with it respectfully. And they've done so in an amazing way, a very profound way. And they're making waves through San Diego like I've never really seen. I've never been close to like artists as they're in the process of blowing up before. You see it from like the fan perspective or from afar or whatever, just like through the media and through social media and stuff. But to actually talk to some people that are in the process of blowing up, like you can really see firsthand. Like I think there's very few people in the world that blow up for no reason, that like blow up just on some bullshit. Like I think most people that blow up are like the Neighborhood Kids, and they're incredibly dedicated, hardworking. Like they're intelligent, they're smart. The way that we talk to them on the phone, everything that we talk to them about beforehand and after the fact, like after the recording, like everything, every interaction that we've had has been extremely helpful and like professional and what?
Nothing.
Did you say hak toi?
Yeah. Blew up over bullshit.
Oh, yeah. So they're the exact opposite of the hak toi. Yeah. They blew up because of extremely hard work and like very DJ JG like
scratching his whole life.
Scratching like nonstop since high school or like early high school, right? Like, and just the amount of research, it comes through. And it comes through, like, the only person that I've ever dealt with in my professional career in music that was as organized and on point as these guys are was Wax.
And they're friends.
Yeah, so that makes perfect sense as to, why they work together.
They call Wax Daddy.
Yeah, they're I think they're in the middle of a collab right now. They're going to put one out soon. And, like...
Go watch the Neighborhood Kids podcast if you haven't already.
And listen to Wax, dude. If you don't know who Wax is, you're whack. Like, fuck.
Yeah, Big Wax on Instagram. Go
He's
check
the best,
him out on YouTube. Crazy bars, syllables.
Wax coins, red.
Quadruple entendre.
Wax raps over EOM beat. He's the shit.
He's really dope.
But yeah, Neighborhood Kids, man, they killed one of their songs on our podcast, and then we ended up making a clip out of that and putting it on our Instagram. We did a collab post with them, and it is the most successful post we've ever had by a factor of 10, roughly. Yeah, roughly by a factor of 10. So that's great. And it's still going, actually. It just picked up steam again today, or like yesterday, and we just started getting another like 1,000 views an hour pretty much. So it's... That's pretty great, man, and it really helps shine light on our page and helps bring other hip hop heads that are into them for all the right reasons.
Yeah, people are tagging La Russell on that shit.
Totally, and they're looking at our page now, and it just brings more hype to like our ability to like put other people on, right? Because right now the neighborhood kids don't need help from us.
No.
You know what I mean? Like they're helping us, we're not helping them. But like the amount of like light that they've shone on our platform is going to help us to be able to shine light on the people here in Vancouver and all the other people that we met along the way, like Wix and and we've been accidentally tying people together this whole time too, because you're interviewing the one guy and like, oh, you don't know Wax? Oh, check this dude out or whatever, right? And like oh, you don't know Wix? Yo, check this dude out. We went and checked out Boo Boo the Prince. That was dope. At his family's taco shop. He is very much of the grimy side of hip hop, the gangster shit, the like dim lit crime boss, cocaine lord style hip hop, and I dig it very much. He's got a couple of really cool songs that we listen to a lot on the way down there. He's got a dope flow, dope style. He like
lots of collabs too with good artists
for sure. Totally.
Good artists.
To compare him to like Vancouver artists, I'd say he's along the lines of like a Alcatraz, Jacoby the Giant kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So that was dope. It was dope to meet him and to hear his story. He had a lot to say. He
had a lot to say, man. And he got vulnerable for sure. And it was a good conversation. And he's really down to earth. And he recognized this right off the bat as the same thing. Like it was all love. It was all love from the moment we got there. And he's got like a truck with his license plate named Boo Boo on it, which is pretty dope. It's kind of heat, but pretty dope.
Yeah.
Pretty dope.
So yeah, that was a great experience. We got some dope ass tacos, met some fucking drunken college kids that were on their way to Tijuana to go fuck Mexican whores.
Yeah, they wanted us to come with them.
They asked us to come with them to go to Mexico to fuck.
It's only like 20 minutes away.
Mexican whores, yeah.
He's like, you go across the border, you pay the border guard $20, and then there's a limo,
and then they blindfold you and put you into a van.
Yeah,
like, okay.
Yeah, you knock on the door of the limo, and they say get in, and then you forget whatever happened.
And that's the fun thing to do.
That's what I think. Maybe they're bullshitting. What if they were like being so sarcastic that like we just believed them,
and we're the idiots?
Yeah, I think
and they're just like, we saw some dumb college kids at the
some dumb Canadians.
Yeah, we were just telling them that we were going to Mexico. We do it all the time. Man.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, we're dumb. We're cunts.
So many people see the British Columbia plates and they're just like, oh, is it cold up there? You live in igloos? Do you guys got toilets?
Yeah.
So fucked.
Yeah, I just tell them, like, yeah, man, we just, like, fucking never seen paved roads before. This is crazy. We got, like, fucking hard shit down here. That's nuts, man. Fuck. It's just snow and mud up there.
Yeah. Gravel roads.
Fucking wild.
Backcountry shit.
Absolutely. Fucking E-rates, bud. Well, yeah, then we got back to Vancouver, and we started putting shit out, and blah, 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 blah. I got itchy to throw a cypher. I called Soul one morning, and I was like, dude, I want to throw something. I want to announce something. And he's like, we should do a Fortune Sound Club cypher. I was like, yes.
The Fortune cypher.
So we talked to our homie, who is actually an old school like hip hop dude. Our contact at Fortune Sound Club is one of the two people that ran Strictly Cypher, the other of which being Junk. And they are Cypher OGs of Vancouver, and they're both like mad hip hop heads. Everyone knows who Junk is. If you don't, you should. But yeah, like, he's super down with the culture. He's super down with the movement and with what we're doing. So like, he opened his doors to us. And, he's representing, obviously, like, the greater team there at Fortune. And there's, like, a lot of legends on that team all the way through. Because, like, even, like, I know who's working sound there. And, like, those guys are legends in the sound world. And, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know who their bar manager is, but it's probably a legend in the bar managing world. Because, literally everybody that works at Fortune Sound Club is a dope person. They're, like, all the girls are, like, good-looking, cool chicks. And, like, all the guys are, like, smart, cool dudes, like... all the DJs are like really good, really on point, really sharp. Like everybody that goes there is cool, man. The people that run it are cool. They know what they're doing, and I really do think it is the benchmark club in Vancouver. I think it's the coolest place to be in the city.
Yeah,
I think it is.
Definitely is. It's been like that for like a decade almost.
Yeah, I mean, they're 15 years old. They celebrated their 15-year anniversary this year at that banger Sister Nancy show. And, like, I'd imagine it took a little while to get their feet in the door. But then eventually, like, I mean, they're a staple now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's an honor to be there. It's an honor to be working with any of those people, even at an arm's length as it is right now. But, I mean, we had our first event there a couple of days ago. And, like, I think it's pretty safe to say we knocked it out of the park.
100%, man.
Yeah,
100%. Like the room was fully packed and the talent was off the charts. Like back to back, it was just like
and everybody was in such good form.
Yeah, like everyone was on point, and there was one point there where DJ Slippy Matt came through, and he came through with his crew, and there was vinyl spinning and beatboxing, and there wasn't much dancing, but it was really dope. It was really dope.
Yeah, for sure.
And, this cypher has opened our eyes. Not opened our eyes. Our eyes were already open, but it's confirmed that moving forward, we need to keep the standard at the cypher. The standard has been set multiple times.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important for moving forward from now on, being that we just said the privilege that we feel working at Fortune and working with these guys and, show and prove. That's another thing that Taquan MC was really firm on, was show and prove. And I think that's kind of the way we got to move with this cypher. Like, if it's a really dope beat and you can't read the room, and you have the microphone, and you rap sometimes, and you rap here and there, but you don't really rap that much, you probably shouldn't rap in the microphone. And, we've catered to everyone at the cypher, and we love the community, and we love giving everyone an opportunity because everyone deserves an opportunity. But it's getting to the point where, we're going to LA, we're podcasting, we're really taking this shit seriously. And it gets kind of frustrating at times when others aren't. And it's very important for people to understand the goal and also read the room and read the energy and feel the vibe, right? Like, there's very few times in life when you get to experience something as electrifying as the cypher. And when you got Graffiti and King Cass, and they're going back and forth like 4 bars for 4 bars, 4 bars, and everything is on point, everything is rhyming, and the beat isn't over yet, and then all of a sudden you hear some random person talking about misogyny, and then you hear like a little it's just like what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? I'm sorry, I love hip hop and everyone, but like, this is a rare moment right here, and this doesn't happen often.
People don't know how to read the room. It's very difficult to like build the energy and the intensity. It's like trying to come when you're high on cocaine. You can do it, but it's like really hard to like get there. If you've ever, I don't know.
And then it's all over probably, and you don't come, and you know how frustrating it is.
No, it's just, no, I'm just saying, like, it's like you're like almost about to come, and then someone like farts or something, and you're like, fuck! Like, fuck! I was fucking right there! Like, why did you do that? You know? You know?
Oh, fuck. That's a great analogy. That's a great way to put it.
It is. It is. No, but honestly, like, we've actually considered this, like, multiple times. We've been talking about this literally since the original MOTN ciphers. But I always kind of just pictured, like, someone wearing, like, a referee shirt with a whistle, and then just straight up, just, like, in the middle of this, okay, whoa, hold up. Like, okay, no, okay, now go. Like, you know what I mean? Just because some people are just fucking oblivious, and no matter what you do running a cipher, you're never gonna get away from the people that are fucking oblivious, because there's always like, and it goes both ways. There's always the guy who's crazy skilled and talented and doesn't think he's good enough to rap in the cypher, and then there's always the guy who's terrible and can't fucking put two words together.
And he has more mic time.
And he's, 40 minutes of mic time throughout the night, right? So we've let so many things happen, and we always have the hands-off approach for a lot of this stuff throughout our history. But at this point, I think we're definitely going to get a little bit more comfortable with cutting people's mics and just if you're whack, you gotta stop. And I mean, that's the thing too, is when you have that energy built up, it's like I say, it is kind of like building up that fucking that energy. It's really you get to that point, it's you're really rolling, it's almost time, it's the explosion, you're just yes, the whole room, everyone's together, everyone's bobbing their heads, right? And if the DJ fucks up, it stops. Or if the rapper fucks up, it stops. Or if something happens, so it's a volley in tennis or some shit, right? It just really starts getting more and more. Oh,
Yeah.
And those are the great moments. So, and then that's when someone will grab it and be like,
yeah, man.
That's literally what they do. They're because I can kind of see it, right? Because I know that I can't rap at fucking all.
Yeah.
So, but I'll be in the cypher and I'll be like, oh, I got one bar right now, and then that's what I think the instinct is, right? You're just let me, and then I'll just start, and then I'll just be magically as good as Noble, and I'll just know what to do, like Graffiti does,
Yeah.
And
it takes balls to get in there and do that too. It takes balls to get in there and do that.
Fuck yeah. And then the other thing I will say about stinkers, they are imperative to influence other people to start.
Yeah.
Which is, because we have seen people that have shown up at the cypher and absolutely sucked ass, and then slowly over time grown a skill set that's remarkably better than they were when they came.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what's held us back a bit is from not cutting mics and not telling people to stop. But there needs to be something, because they can't. The special thing about the cypher is there is no host, there is no timer, there's no rules. If someone wants to rap, they can rap for however long, and there comes a point where the other guy with the mic's throwing in cues, give it up, and some people just are oblivious. Like you said, they don't read the room and they don't stop.
Yeah.
So what line?
I can't believe some people are willing to go up and just say this is my fucking hip hop shit in the fucking hip hop bitch, because I'm a fucking hip hop guy and I do the hip hop stuff. And you're like, what the fuck is why how dare you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because honestly, it's a little disrespectful.
Yeah.
It's a little disrespectful to do that. But again, I mean, I think it's just obliviousness, and the whole concept of a cypher is foreign to a lot of people, and it's not a regular thing. It's not something that is done in schools or anything like that. So it's not there is a protocol to this, and I think a lot of people are new to this kind of side of the culture. So,
and for those of you that don't agree, totally understand your perspective, but we're done catering to certain people to keep the reputation of inviting community space alive.
Because if you're whack, we're gonna cut your mic.
It's,
I'm sorry.
And
the other thing is if you're whack, we're gonna cut you from the content on YouTube. And what we will do though is provide the full Dropbox link for the entire thing. So when I edit from now on, what I'm gonna be doing is I'll do the entire 3-hour session. I'll put that up on a Dropbox link on the Patreon, and I'll have an edited, condensed version of all the dopest shit that happened all throughout the whole cypher, and then that'll go on YouTube. So
if
YouTube
you're whack,
will be 45 minutes of the dopest shit that happened, so you can watch the entire video from start to finish. And again, this is all for the sake of propelling this movement forward, so that we can get more eyes onto our platform, so that we can propel more people forward and lift more people up. Dope people. And also, the other thing is, if you don't make the cut to the footage, you're not ready anyways. So keep working. Keep coming to the cypher, keep putting the effort in, keep writing, keep freestyling with your friends, keep ciphering at home, keep ciphering at the cypher, and you'll eventually build the skill set that we will include you in the clips, and then we will push you forward outside of the paid model. But that's, again, so I mean, but everyone has access to all their footage regardless through the Patreon if you want to pay us $10 a month, which is a fucking measly fraction of what we're worth.
Yeah, if you're whack, you got to pay to watch yourself.
Exactly,
rap.
yeah. And it's only $10 a month, right? So it's $10 to have all that production done for you once a month, right? And we're going to be doing these monthly, and we're going to be putting them out consistently monthly. So,
and there's a very fine line between bullying and harassment and upholding a standard. Because, you know, it's easy for us to just be like, oh, you're cut from the mic. And then that person then goes home and cries and gets upset because they're cut from the mic and they feel like no one likes their music. But it's a learning opportunity. And to prove yourself at the cypher doesn't mean that every single time you rap, you're going to get cut. But you need to be educated. If you're going to be regularly coming out, it's our duty to educate people that aren't reaching that height. And we're not trying to say everyone needs to rap like Truth or everyone needs to rap like Graffiti and all these dope guys, but you can't shit the bed in a dope moment. And maybe that's more of the angle we need to go with this, is like, when it is a dope moment, you don't rap because, you know, for the first hour of the cypher, people are getting there, they're getting off work, they're getting ready, they're showering at home, and the legends are coming through. But when it's like 11 o'clock at night and the whole room is packed and everyone's jumping up and down, that is not when a beginner entry rapper goes onto the mic.
Well, you look at it like belts in like jiu-jitsu or some shit,
Exactly.
right? Like when you would never be a white belt going against a brown belt. That's fucking stupid.
It's unfair.
It's unfair and ridiculous. It's bad for the white belt. The white belt's not going to learn any fucking thing.
And it's bad for the reputation of the dojo or wherever the place is, right?
Who would put that match together, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's you got to just kind of know when's when to go, and, you know, I don't know. Read the room. It's the most important thing that I can put across. But
read the room.
That, I mean, that's not
value.
to say, like, it sounds like we're shitting all over the cypher that we had the other night, because honestly, it was one of the best cyphers we've ever had. Like, literally, there was so much high quality ciphering going on. Like, when Bobby came in, nailed that Joey Valence beat, Griff and Cass over top of it was, I think, back-to-back Gangstar beats.
Yeah.
And then I think Griffin Cass did it. No, it was Griffin Bobby did another one later over a Beautiful Music to Die To by Necro.
Yeah.
Fire beat. Holy shit, that was a good. Necro beats go hard in the cypher. This is something I've learned. I'm guilty of putting a lot of the wrong beats on at the cypher a lot of times throughout the history of our organization. Like, a lot of time, like, in the older days, it was always like Lord Finesse, 4/4 timing, like really old school hip hop, like chill, like 90s, mid 90s stuff, like specifically all the time. A lot of Showbiz AG kind of shit, right? And that's really easy to hop on, really easy to cipher over kind of stuff. What?
And then Truth started making the beat tapes.
Then Truth started putting fucking Michael Jackson songs and shit in the middle of the fucking, I don't know, because Truth is a way better rapper than most people around, right? And so he's capable of rapping over things that other people aren't capable of. So I just picture him sitting in his house making these beat tapes, going like, "Oh, well, I could spit over that. Like, let's throw it in. Like, oh, yeah, I can spit over that too. Yep. Throw that in. Like, oh, yeah, I can spit over that. Like, you know what I mean? So he's putting all these fucking expert level beats in there, right? And all these clowns are trying to fucking rap over Michael Jackson. They're like, what? I don't know how to do this. I don't know what you intended.
Yeah.
But then like the Railway era, like the third location that we did like years ago, was definitely like the most like clubby kind of thing, and that's when we started doing a lot of like Dre beats and a lot of like Kendrick beats and a lot of like iconic bangers and stuff like that, which goes hard if the right person has the mic. You know, if King Cass has got it, great. Throw down a classic banger, right? He'll fuck it up. He'll nail it. He'll fucking eat it alive. Yeah. But then, you know, a lot of the time, like, you can't throw down Cool G rap for like some like, you know, some rap head that's just like not that skilled or whatever, because they're hearing the lyrics of like this iconic song or whatever. Or same with even like a Nas song. People are just like too used to how that sounds.
And
you can't
the
put
worst
Old Town
thing
Road
is
down.
like literally rapping the song.
Yes. Oh my God, that's happened. That happened so horrifically
Like
at the
if
Modern
it's
one
50
time.
Cent, it's your birthday, and you're rapping, it's your birthday, The same.
I'll never
shit.
put Blackstreet.
Go, shawty.
Ever again.
It's your birthday. Don't rap that over that 50 Cent beat at the cypher.
Yeah.
Don't rap about birthdays or any fucking. I mean, maybe make a twist on birthdays, but like, don't go word for word of the fucking song.
Yeah, we saw somebody word for word sing "No Diggity" by Blackstreet at the cypher at the Mountain one time, and it was horrific.
Or like California Love verse and shit.
Yo, that dude that everyone fucking hates that came to the cypher at the Mountain.
Oh,
the dude who is around currently in the Vancouver scene and won't fucking leave us alone.
Oh my god.
Who we won't name.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
There's a few of those.
Be less weird, dude.
Yeah, there's a few of those.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it was definitely a banger cypher at Fortune, man.
Absolute
it was
fucking banger.
Definitely a banger, and you know that's the thing is like everyone that was there is guaranteed telling everyone they know about it.
Oh, for
and,
sure.
And you know, I hope that it really builds and attracts the right attention and the right eyes. There's been a few other ciphers at Fortune from other organizations we won't name, but
really good ones.
You know, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I think the staff at Fortune were like, you know,
for sure.
right?
Yeah, you
like,
know what? Actually, after you
it's
left, dude, one of the security guards came up to me and he was like, "Hey, man, dope night. That was a breath of fresh air." That's what he said to me, word for word.
Literally.
Like, I was like, hell yeah. And
because
we felt that from everybody.
guaranteed, you know, like when one staff member is like, yeah, we're having a cypher here tonight, all of the staff members are probably, you know, very like, oh, okay, like let's see what you mean, cypher,
yeah.
right? So, you know, it feels nice to like get that respect from them as well, and you know, make an impact there because it's exactly what we did.
They all thought that shit was, you know, yesteryear. They thought that was over. You know, they didn't think that it was going to come back or something like that. I don't know, but like,
yeah. And the footage looks great. One thing I would suggest is
we can do way better.
Spray
next time.
painting the walls. You know, it's all white, and I think it could add some really cool depth and like, you know, color and just hip hop, grimy, low ceiling, bass thumping, a little bit of smoke in the air, and graffiti on the fucking wall, man.
Yeah, that's what we need.
Crazy shit. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Icon Hip Hop. Check out the YouTube channel. Scroll down to the bottom. Look at the old videos and kind of see where we came from and all the stuff we're talking about. Get an understanding of these characters and individuals that come out to the cypher. There's a lot of full-length videos up there, a lot of clips, a lot of highlight reels, and
if you're really about this shit, go and check out a playlist on our channel called Ghetto's Choice. And it's like my favorite videos from our history and stuff. I should actually update that because there's probably half a dozen more that should be on there. So I'm gonna do that probably tonight or something. I'll throw that on.
Yeah, like this video, comment on it, your favorite part, and if anybody has any comments or questions or any feedback they'd like to throw in, put the timestamp. Let us know what you feel about what we're talking about.
I know it might seem tempting to support our organization by writing graffiti in the streets and writing Icon Hip Hop in the streets, but whatever you do, we do not want you to go to Beat Street Records and buy loop cans and spray Icon Hip Hop on dumpsters and walls. We don't want you to do that. We don't want you to get markers. We don't want you to get Pilot Super Jumbos and write that in bathroom stalls. We don't want you to do that on stop signs. We don't want you to...
Don't do it on Granville.
Don't do it in high schools. Don't do it, you know... It's
like dead serious. Don't do it.
Yeah. We don't want you to do that.